How do you do? It would be a little unkind to present this picture without just a word of friendly warning. I think it will thrill you. It may shock you. It might even horrify you.
What's up, everybody? Dirk here, and you're watching Digital Bathhouse. Today we are going to review the Japanese film, if you want to call it a film, MASD-008. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Digital Bathhouse, formerly known as Dirk's Greasy Reviews. Thank you all for sticking with me. Whoever's left, I don't know. It's been a few years, and a lot of YouTube channels got deleted, and a lot of Discord servers came and gone. But we're back officially to bless you with some deviant films. So this one, I was actually looking for another film. It's MASD, but the production codes get really confusing. I thought it was 002, but that's not it. That's actually a film, but that's not the one I was looking for. So anyway, I stumbled upon MASD-008, and I thought it was the one I was thinking of because it had a girl in a white, looked like a wedding dress with a tiara on. But this is a different movie. It kind of worked out. So MASD-008 is 2 hours and 30 freaking minutes long.
Tick-tock, motherfucker!
These Japanese folks sure do love to make these really long, drawn-out, disgusting fetish films. It works for us because it gives us something to laugh at, I guess. So basically, MASD-008 starts out with a woman wearing a black, kind of looks like a schoolgirl dress in this white room. A lot of these films have the same exact format, the same production, just different people involved. It starts with the cameraman talking to this woman in a black school dress, blah, blah, yah, yah, yah. I don't know what the hell they're saying, but I'm sure it's really not that important. They pan out, and there's a plexiglass platform, and she gets on the platform, she takes her clothes off first, gets on the platform, and then squats. It proceeds to piss into a glass bowl that this guy, he's wearing like a hazmat suit because he doesn't want to get covered in shit. He's wearing a hazmat suit with the mask and everything, the full works. And she pisses in the bowl, and he basically takes it away. I'm obviously going to save that for later. So she struggles for a little while trying to push out a fudge dragon, and her face is turning red, and eventually this thing comes out, and it looks like a fudge dragon. That's why I call it that. It's exactly what it looks like. It's all coiled up like a snake. That's like a dragon's head. And while she's doing all this, it's really odd. There's just a bunch of people sitting on the floor like a kindergarten class, listening to the teacher read a book.
In fact, his name was Happy.
It's a bunch of people just watching, and their faces are like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. And then when she's pushing the crap out, they want to get a good view of it, and it's bizarre.
How bizarre!
But for some reason, she keeps worrying about her hair, how her hair looks, which, as minutes and half hours go by, her hair is probably the least of her concerns. So, of course, they like to get close-ups. They want you to really experience the texture and the consistency of the poo, because they get right in there. They zoom right in there to the point where you could see what she had for lunch. So, anyways, the woman gets off the platform and gets a close-up view of her masterpiece, and she smells it like she's smelling a steak or like a bottle, like a glass of wine or something, just smelling it in. She doesn't look too thrilled, which is kind of weird because if I fucking put my shit in my hand and smelled it, I would expect it not to smell good. But hey, she's acting, right? You got to make the money.
I'm an actor.
So a bunch of the people from the audience actually go up and smell it too, just to confirm that it smells like shit. So we're good. It was confirmed that, yeah, that her shit smells like shit.
Poop again. He called the shit poop.
So the weirdo in the hazmat suit, for some reason beyond me, takes like a stick that he found in the front yard and just starts pushing it around. And then he's like, he gets two sticks, like they're chopsticks or something, and he's like playing with it basically. And then he just basically starts feeding it to her.
Get in my belly.
So the first few times she actually pulls away like, oh, no, I can't believe this is happening. Like, I didn't sign up for this. And then eventually she starts munching on her shit like a fucking demon. Chomping away, swallowing it. I mean, it's brutal. It's hard to watch. It's been a while since I've actually watched any of this shit. No pun intended, or literally.
The literally thing?
He's poking the fucking shit with a stick that he found in the front yard. And then he takes two sticks. This hazmat suit guy is just having a fucking time of his life. So he scoops up the crap, and then eventually she just starts munching away. And of course they get close-ups of her mouth, of her chewing it, of her swallowing it, just everything they can possibly do to try to make you nauseous.
Poo-poo comes out. The other poo-poo's out, huh? And then they eat the poo-poo.
The audience is completely like blown away by this performance, and they're just so happy and so delighted that their $5 tickets to watch a woman eat shit is actually worth it.
'Cause I've got a golden ticket.
So when that's all said and done, the bowl of piss from the beginning is brought back so she could wash her dinner down with a nice warm bowl of her own piss. And she gags and she reels, and you know, she's an actress. She's really putting on a performance. And that's pretty much it for that scene, if you want to call it a scene. So scene two is essentially the same thing. It's another white room with a bunch of cooking stuff.
I don't think you can actually cook.
With a hot plate and bowls and all kinds of different shit. So obviously we're gonna start cooking here, and she doesn't look too thrilled about it. So another woman comes on to the platform. It's a different lady, probably one of the audience members that won a contest or something.
Come on down.
She gets on top of the platform and starts pooping into a bowl of white rice. And with glee, she eats it up, yum, 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 with chopsticks. And it's disgusting. They do white rice. These guys are brilliant with their attention to detail. They picked white rice because you could see every piece and hunk of shit that's in the rice.
Oh, that's nasty. And
of course, there's close-ups of her mouth. There's close-ups of her chewing it. And it's just fucking vile. So once she's had enough of the rice and poo combination, another woman gets up on the platform, and they just skip the whole food thing, and she goes right to the source and just puts her mouth right up to this lady's butt and delivers a big, hot, wet, steamy shotgun blast of diarrhea. And I will say, I never understood the pixelated thing in Japanese films, like, you know, how they can show like a close-up of a butthole, like spewing out this brown toxic sludge, but yet they pixelate a clean vagina that's right next to it. So
Life makes no sense.
I'll never understand it, but it actually came in handy for this because it kind of fucking got in the way of being able to see everything. Because some of the camera angles, they wanted to keep her vag blurred out. So it actually worked out. Not that it mattered, because it only got worse from there.
Buckle up, buckaroo.
So we go back to the cooking set, where she decides that she's going to cook up some burgers that are made out of total shit. Shitty burgers. Poo burgers.
There's something in that tastes like shit.
So she sits down to a nice meal. She's got some vegetables, some broccoli, some snap peas and stuff like that with her poo burger. And she just munches away on those poo burgers.
Certainly does look delicious.
Where's the beef?
She then proceeds to vomit all of her dinner into a giant metal bowl. And something tells me that they are saving this bowl for later. So a lovely naked woman thinks that she might be a little parched, so she delivers her a nice glass of piss to wash down her poo burger and her vegetables.
Piss! Piss!
So then another woman gets on the platform, same thing, poop, pee, bada boom, bada bing.
Bada bing, you blow their brains all over your nice Ivy League suit.
Keeps the supply chain fresh. So then she decides that she's kind of in the mood for some fried poo. So she actually makes a fry batter for the turds, and then coats the turds in the batter and then fries them in the frying pan. And my God, it must smell like total fucking death in this room.
That smells like ass.
So she munches down the fried poo, and they give a close-up of her face, and she just looks like a 3-year-old who just had chocolate pudding for dessert. So we have another woman on the platform, and my God, this woman poops like a fucking horse. I mean, it was just massive and very, very disturbing. So she takes that, she takes piss and makes a poo soup. It almost looks like an egg drop soup, but it's like brown, and it's difficult to watch.
You want some soup?
So she puts the vegetables that were left over from the poo burger, she mixes that all in, and then she starts to simmer it on a hot plate. So once again, you've got the poo burgers, and now you've got poo soup merging into this aroma of just death and just death.
What, do you smell something?
Do I smell something? What am I, hard of smelling?
That's the only way I could probably imagine that it would smell like. It would probably smell like a dead fucking body, maybe even worse. I think I'd rather smell a dead body.
Does that smell like death to you, Patty?
Yeah.
So the end of scene 2 is basically just her with a face covered in dookie, and she's wearing like a blue robe, and I guess she's gonna have a cigarette or something, I don't know. But she looks completely defeated, and that's one thing I never understood about these Jav films, but maybe that's the whole point, is men like to see women defeated and humiliated. I'm assuming that's part of the fetish. And if it is, then yeah, these dudes are going to love this shit. But yeah, it's just basically her sitting there in a blue robe, ready to continue with this film. And yeah. So in between each scene, I'm just calling them scenes because it's the only way I can comprehend any of this shit in order to make it understandable, I guess. So in between each scene is like these weird little, I would compare them to like Lucifer Valentine type edits where it's just loud music, like overmodulated music, and then like distorted pictures from the actual film of what's coming up next with a bunch of Japanese writing. I have no clue what it says, but between, they're like little bumpers in between each scene. It's just this loud, obnoxious noise with these fast cuts and strange pictures. Scene 3 is pretty much almost like a behind the scenes type deal. It's just her in the shower, and then she forces herself to vomit while she's in the shower, and then we cut to another one of these weird, loud music, bumper, distorted things, and we get on to scene number 4. So scene number 4 is, wow, they really mixed it up, because instead of having like white sheets and white everything in the background, it's now black. And she's also wearing a black dress, which is very nice because she matches her environment. So this dude in thong comes up to her and handcuffs her. And then another naked woman comes from behind and basically jams her fingers down this woman's throat, forcing her to vomit into a glass bowl that the thong guy is holding on to. So after she pukes in the bowl a couple times, she takes the woman who's had her fingers down the other woman's throat, basically tilts her head up and then just starts puking directly into her mouth. And God, if this video hasn't got my channel taken down by now, then wow.
Get him the fuck out of here!
So then Mr. Thong Man decides he wants to get in on the action and pukes directly into her mouth this rice, seaweed, spinach looking thing. And which blows my mind is the fact that she actually chews it and swallows it. Like, I have a hard enough time being in a room with somebody who vomits, let alone them vomiting into my mouth and then me eating it and chewing it and swallowing it. Nope. So then another woman comes in, pukes all over her, inside her mouth and all this other stuff. And at this point, she's pretty much having like a little bit of a nervous breakdown. She's crying, she's pulling away, and I can't say I blame her, to be honest. So eventually they force her to clean out this bowl, which is a pretty big bowl full of vomit and shit and God knows, you know. So they basically make her eat the entire bowl of vomit.
Oh, you nasty ass bastard! You fucking nasty ass motherfucker! That's nasty, man!
But not without making, you know, changing things up a little bit. And they give her this clear, like a rubber, almost like a rubber hose, but it's only probably about 2 feet long. And then, of course, she sticks that in and just starts sucking down the rest of the vomit. And my God, do they know how to make people wince. Ugh. So the surprising thing is she actually finishes the whole bowl. And she's crying while doing it. It doesn't really look like she's having fun anymore. She's really now, I know she's not worried about her hair anymore.
I am dead inside.
So Mr. Thong Man decides to drop trow and stick his winky in the woman's mouth.
He found Captain Winky!
And she starts vomiting all over that thing. And then just to make sure that they don't waste any, you know, Mr. Thong Man sticks the bowl underneath so it collects whatever is coming out. So this is like regurgitated puke times 3. Like this is like 3 people's puke that's been eaten and then puked up again. And my God.
Dear 8 pound, 6 ounce, newborn infant Jesus.
I don't even think there's enough drugs in the world that could even allow me to get close to doing that. So hats off to her. So once the filleting is over, she of course takes the bowl and then cleans it up. Empties the whole friggin' thing. And good God, is it bad.
Who's bad?
So they cut to her basically laying on the ground, covered in chunks of noodles and rice and seaweed or whatever the fuck it is. And that's pretty much it for scene 4. So scene 5 is where she really gets miserable. Yeah. And this is where I got confused because this scene is she's wearing a white dress with a little furry tiara type thing. It almost looks like she's going to like a princess party or something. So this reminded me of the movie I was originally looking for, but hey, you take what you can get.
You can't always get what you want, honey.
So this is where just a bunch of dudes come in and they unleash fury into her mouth, meaning that they poop all in her mouth. No more bowls. They're just going right to the source like a kid on a freaking ice cream machine just going to town. And of course, they love their close-ups. Close-ups of her teeth and her chewing it and on her tongue and just, oh my God, they really want you to get the full experience.
Extreme close-up! Whoa! Whoa!
So eventually it just comes to the point where she's just completely full of shit. Her white dress is just brown now. There's like barely any white left, maybe a little bit on the bottom. But she's wearing white gloves that are just completely brown, like a orange, or not orange, like yellowish brown, like I don't know what they put in that food, but it must be the oil or something because it's slimy and it's very weird.
You make this the greasiest feast since that goose you cooked on Christmas.
So she's carrying on, and I guess the people that are making this abomination decide, hey, let's help her out, and they give her a bottle of water, which is nice because it's better than a bowl full of piss. She begins just picking up chunks off the floor and just putting them in her mouth, completely defeated, completely miserable. I hope she got paid a lot of money for this because she fucking deserves it. But in Japanese style, they decide, you know what? We're not going to let anything go to waste. They were actually giving her the water because I thought they felt bad for her, but actually what it was just ingredients that they were mixing in her stomach. So they forced her to puke out all of this brown liquid, which is, it's brown. But now she's starting to get, she's becoming a little bit modest. She's she's taking small pieces, and she's like, oh my God, it smells. And she plugs her nose while she's eating it. I'm like, it's way beyond that, lady. Like, we already know, like, yeah, you're a pro. So she's basically laying there in her white dress, covered in dookie, chugging down more bottles of water. Guys keep giving her bottles of water. It's just her gloves are covered in crap. Bottles are covered in crap. Everything is covered in crap.
You full of shit. You understand that? You full of shit.
That's pretty much it for scene 5. Almost worse. I wouldn't say worse. Maybe close to being worse than the original movie that I'm thinking of, that I was looking for, where the woman actually has a mental breakdown. This woman seemed like she was putting it on, like she was almost pretending to cry and stuff, and the plugging of her nose, even though she was eating turds like 5 minutes before with no problem, with a smile on her face. So yeah, I think she was putting it on just a little bit for the camera. So down to scene 6, which is the final segment. We're back in a black room, and there's something covered in a big black sheet. I kind of already figured out what it was because I've seen enough of these to know where this is going. So then they cut to footage of all the girls and all the guys and whatever that are on the crew collecting feces and urine in like little containers so that they could fill whatever this thing is up. So anyway, he takes off the black curtain, and it's a giant tank, probably 6 feet, maybe 7 feet high by 6 feet wide. It's just this giant, almost looks like a plexiglass container full of brown liquid. There's like, you don't really see any solids in there. It's just all brown. So they must have like whipped it up. Got like a blender and chopped up the chunks or something. They put a white ball into this woman's mouth, so she's forced to have her mouth open while she's submerged under this brown liquid, which is kind of ingenious when you think about it, because, like, you know, if you had to do it, you could at least plug your nose, keep your mouth shut, and just pray that nothing got into your eye.
Holy crap! What happened?
You got pink eye?
But no, they covered all bases and made sure that she had a ball in her mouth so she couldn't close her mouth when she was underneath the water. And she goes under. She goes Scuba Steve.
I'm Scuba Sam, Scuba Steve's father.
Is completely submersed in diarrhea, water, piss, whatever. And she really doesn't seem too bothered by it. I think this is probably a little bit more tame than what she's used to, being dunked in shit instead of consuming shit. So you take what you can get.
You can't always get what you want, honey.
And that's essentially it.
That's all, folks.
There's 2.5 hours. I basically could wrap up in 10 minutes because a lot of it is just repetition, especially with Jav films. A lot of it is just same script, just different people, pretty much. And MASD is no different than the Guso Milks or the Vomit Monsters or anything like that. It's pretty much all the same script, which is different people, and they change things up from time to time just to let you know that you're watching a different movie than you were watching before. Would I recommend this? Absolutely not.
Oh, hell no!
Even if I knew anybody that was into like shit fetish, I don't even think this is for you. I think this is more of a film for people who like humiliation, like have a humiliation kink, like to see women crying, like to see women like being forced to do things that they don't want to do, that type of stuff. So if you're into that, if you're into humiliation, you're not only a total douchebag.
Douchebag says what? What?
But this is for you. So at the end of it, they have some weird commercials. Japanese commercials are always very strange to me. I'm sure they say the same thing about like American commercials, but it's one of the commercials is for it's like a box with a rubber hand on it, and the hand goes up and down. It's a jack-off machine. It's pretty, I mean, it looks like it was made in the 90s, so it was way ahead of its time, way before the fleshlight and all that other stuff. So, and then just a couple more random Japanese commercials, and that is it. 2.5 hours of nothing but disgusting shit.
Oh, it's bad. Excuse me, kids. I need to run. I got.
I'd like to thank you guys for joining me on this, and hopefully I didn't make it too nauseous, but if I did, then that's cool too. The next review will be probably something in the field of like gore, maybe like mixtape, either mixtape or something with gore, or a gore mixtape, even better. So that'll be the next review, and that should be done in about a week. It's been a while since I've watched any of this stuff, but my stomach is still holding strong from the years of watching this type of stuff. So it wasn't too bad, but for the average Joe, I think this would probably make you throw up, or at least make you nauseous. So I'm gonna give this, out of all, like on a fucked up scale, from 0 to 5, a fucked up scale, I'll give it a 3.5.
Golf clap? Golf clap.
Because I've seen worse, unfortunately. But to some people, this might be like a 13 or a 14. But if you're curious about it, let me know. I'll send you a copy of it, or you can find it online. MASD-008.
You sick.
We'll be back in about a week with another review. Like I said, probably a mixtape or a gore tape. You know how I roll. That's all I cover, baby. Anyways, I appreciate you guys watching this video. I have a Discord server. I'll leave that in the link in the description below. I'm also going to leave a link to my Kick, Kick is a lot more lenient when it comes to freedom of speech and saying like this type of stuff. I can't show anything, but at least they won't take down my videos for saying shit and piss about 1,000 times. So
Ass piss! Piss!
I'll leave a link in the description for my Kick. Also, I do movie marathons on there. I play TV shows, movies, all kinds of stuff. So it's a cool place to hang out. Once again, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully I didn't make you too nauseous, but if I did, then I did my job. And I will see you guys on the next one. See you later.